Thank you for listening to The Scene. And thanks to our sponsors, Elite Feeds in Tyndall, South Dakota, Reno Construction, Chris Hay Grinding, Tyndall Motors, Frank's Trading Post, and Team Pluto. These fine businesses have sponsored Hot Dog Night in Tyndall, South Dakota, June 7th. We're so happy to have the support of our community and the small businesses inside of it. Thank you for being part of The Scene. Welcome into a special edition of The Scene. I'm your host, Bubba Starts. With me today is Josh Tipton from Team Pluto. They're a sponsor of some events of ours, and they're a big partner, and we got some big news to share with you. Josh, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bubba. Thanks for having me.
Man, it's my pleasure. I know we've got some exciting news, so let's jump right into it.
Oh, you just want to go right for it, huh?
Yep.
Well, Bubba, as you know, I am one of the co-founders of Team Pluto LLC. It's a company, a buddy, a real good friend of mine who tragically passed away what is said to be a drug overdose. We started the company in 2013, honestly, just as a funny t-shirt business. We imagined little Pluto standing outside of Club Milky Way when he got stripped of his planetary status, and like Jupiter with an eye patch not letting him in, if you can imagine. It's pretty silly, but we ran with it, and we found out it's like an onion. The deeper and deeper we went, we drew so many parallels to how society is and what we could do to change the world. And we all got in a bunch of trouble back then and went our separate ways. And I had to find out while I was actually in a jail cell what had happened. So that was the birth of it.
That's amazing. I love that you didn't follow my lead and you jumped right into the story of Team Pluto, which I've actually never heard.
No kidding.
But I know that you've been reworking the business plan right now, and that was a big part of it. And I loved the planetary alignment, and because I think everybody can kind of, I think people can relate to that, right? Being an outsider and feeling on the outside, and sometimes you feel like you're in, and then you're right back out, and right. I think we all feel like that, right? Very few people are actually the center of the universe. And I think there's different universes existing all at the same time, and I love it.
That's the beauty about moving forward, Bubba, is when you're on a mission or when you see something and you want it bad enough, you are literally crossing through these universal boundaries. I mean, you can get stuck in a dimension you didn't realize was on your itinerary. And until you complete that mission, until you need to learn what it is inside yourself that's holding you back, you're going to keep repeating the same mistakes over and over. It took me so long to finally get that, man.
Brother, you are speaking the truth, man. That's a beautiful thing. And I know that both of us have learned a lot of lessons, and we've learned them the hard way. We have a very paralleled past. We've both been too far gone and have come back, not unlike our friend Pluto. And right now we're hitting in an orbit that is almost completely foreign to us, right? Things are going well.
What's great about that is when Pluto got kicked out of being classified as a planet, he started his own crew and became king of the Kuiper Belt. Now it's the largest of the outer planets. And I'm okay with that because the other planets might be closest to the sun, but Pluto's closest to beyond. And beyond is the only thing that's going to make anything change around here.
Yes, brother. I love it. Reaching outside of the solar system, right? Let us be free. Well, we like to go out there. That's beautiful, man. Well, and that speaks to what's happening right now. I feel like we are kind of almost pulling away on our own and starting to exist outside of the system entirely. And that it's nice to know the origin of Team Pluto, because what is going to happen next over the course of this summer for Team Pluto is nothing short of amazing.
Oh, let me get into that. So Team Pluto, as it sits today, is a online e-commerce store featuring custom merchandise from, organizations, schools, private artists, recording artists, influential figures such as Ms. Mount Rushmore, Nika Miller, who's a pageant queen. So we actually got into the Snack Shack business at little leagues. Crazy, right?
An unlikely place to begin a small business for sure.
Yeah. So what we realized is we had an opportunity to bring fans back to the ballpark by offering cutting edge technology integrated with on field play. We want to give every small town, every kid who dreams of being a baseball superstar or whatever sport. We encourage and love activities. That's why at our snack shacks, for example, we have a section just for kids under 3 to pick a snack. We keep the prices cheap, affordable, family friendly, and a lot of this is primarily due to our sponsors. And if you don't mind, I'll give a little shout out quick, Bubba.
Shout them out, buddy.
So P Rose Catering is my family's company, and they have blessed us with their famous award-winning barbecue pulled pork in the form of a slider. They gave us such a good deal. They're losing money on it, but they believed in us and what we're doing. So things like any type of goods that we can get from local producers, manufacturers, we want to feature your items in our snack shop and bring attention to your brand, elevate what you're doing so we can support your cause, because that's the only way we move up.
And
together.
Where's local to you, Josh, just for our listeners?
Local to me is South Dakota and the surrounding towns. For now, Plankinton, South Dakota is where we are doing our brand new concepts. And the goal is by the end of the year, man, is to turn over a fully functional, fully integrated, fully stocked concession stand to the Parks and Rec department and move on to the next one.
That's beautiful.
We're not here to just camp all day and take everybody's money. That's not how it's supposed to go. We want these places to be able to take the inventory, take this integration, take this model, and get the kids the things they need, man. Like, let's keep the money here.
We are here to show you how it's done. It's your responsibility to maintain it. We will check back in when we can. I love the startup nature of it, and then hopefully finding capable people throughout the year to establish that. It's really no different than the business model of our open mics and our songwriter nights and those things, is really that to show people that it's possible, right? To go out and prove the concept is our duty.
Yeah. Speaking of proving the concept, so I haven't told but maybe a few people I've been silently auditioning, I guess you could say, for a role in a reality TV show that is going to be Prime Video, and they've done 11 seasons called The Blocks. And Bubba, I just wanted to share with our listeners and with you that Team Pluto was selected out of a pool of thousands, according to their website, 50,000. But I mean, I feel like that's a little, yeah,
incredible.
Man,
I think it speaks to your energy, Josh. That's the first thing that attracted me to you. We met in person. I know we had been following each other kind of from the outside, right?
Right.
You kind of ships passing in the night a few times probably through our lives. I have a feeling that we have probably, a few degrees of separation. It wouldn't take much. But
right.
When we met, your energy was so high, your vibration was so high. I knew that I wanted to work with you, and I didn't know how. I knew you had a big idea. It's taken me us several months to kind of realize the actualization of that. But here, after just finding out, obviously about the reality show, which congratulations, the auditioning process and everything, I know can be grueling. I know you did several interviews and things through the process. So kudos to you. I mean, they already like you, right? You wouldn't have made it this far if they didn't believe that you were good content as well. So congratulations for making it this far, right? Like you said, out of 50,000, and it's kind of what we tell our kids. Yeah, we might come from a small state, but when you make it to these, districts and regionals and all of these things, like, yes, you might have only taken 5th place that day, but that's actually 5th place out of hundreds or thousands of contestants, right? Like, you're not just competing against that person that day. You're mostly competing against yourself to be the best version of yourself.
Absolutely.
And
Bubba.
that is what we embody, Josh, and it's why we work so well together. It's why I liked you immediately. Well, you know, I kind of spoke about our parallel past, and I think it's something we've both learned those lessons, right? And now we're both actuating what we've learned at the same time, side by side, and not just, you know, in the ether and in communication, but actually on products. Can you actually tell people a little bit about what the venture really is at the heart of it?
Yeah, you bet. So at the heart of it, came down to a decision. We could have bought, 10 cent per unit Nestle water, which, as some people might know, Nestle is owned by the Pepsi Cola company. And we could have charged $2 a piece and really made a profit for this summer. But instead, we flipped it. We got our own custom labeled water bottle, Bubba, 1,200 on this first shipment to be exact. And these are actually going to be limited edition bottles. Because I know, and you know, our listeners probably don't, but they're going to be a collector item someday, because we're going to change the landscape one bottle of water at a time. And I'll tell you how. So instead of Coke and Pepsi delivering their water to our snack shack, we're going to get sponsors to ride along on our special QR code. It's a technology that when you're at the ballpark, you can scan it when when the announcer says, or when you get a notification, however it has to look. By scanning the code on our bottle, you open the door to endless prizes from all of our sponsors that want to speak to our listeners and to our contestants directly. Because if you're like me and you've tried e-commerce and you've paid hundreds of dollars to Google, Facebook, Amazon, it doesn't matter. You get the results and it says, yeah, you've had this many website clicks. But if you really dig into the data, I've come to the conclusion, and this is just my opinion, that small businesses are at a disadvantage because they don't understand the data the way it's being presented.
Well, and it's taking a local business and putting them in a situation that they would never put themselves in, right? The offer that you're making with direct marketing directly into people's hands at the ball game, right? And they scan it, and maybe it's not just one business, maybe it's a list of businesses that now you have a digital coupon book, right?
Exactly.
And this is kind of the evolution. We've been talking this out for weeks now, and the ideas just keep getting better, right? What better way to talk it out than on a podcast so we can remember it? No. So essentially, and how I want to break it down for people is this, right? We are giving away water. We're not charging for water and trying to turn a profit on one of the most basic elements that every single one of us survive on. That seems wholly ridiculous to us. What we can offer, though, is we can offer sponsors that want to ride along on our water bottles with their logo and a QR code possibly to their own company, can pay for those waters and let us distribute their promotional materials for them at the venues, wherever that may be. I mean, we are obviously not limited to baseball fields.
You're going to walk into Sam's one day and you're going to see nothing but bottled water, and then the rest of the concessions picks through because Sam's going to scratch their head and be like, how come we're not selling any water? And, that's just my dream.
Well, and beyond that, you're also using a local water distributor right there in Sioux Falls. You want to shout them out?
Yeah, huge shout out to Jeff at Dakota Splash. He's pretty much the reason that this is all happening. He gave me a very, very friendly deal just based on my idea. You know what I mean? And we decided to run with it.
Well, I think it's a great idea. I think getting out there and for you then to team with me was so seamless because I do events all the time. I have a podcast that I'm talking on all the time. There's no better branding, team than us, really. and it's been exciting to watch all these wins happening for you, and for you to have the gumption to say, hey, this little snack shack that's kind of failing in my hometown, I can use this to leverage this other idea that's wholly separate from a snack shack, right? The snack shack hopefully will pay its own bills and be able to run it, but the idea that you're creating adjacent to it is brilliant, and it gets more brilliant to me by the day as you take me further and further into what the marketing means. Well, here's what it means at the end of the day. Well, talk about what you can do then after, let's look down the road. Now we're on this show, right? You were on this show anyway. I'm kind of speaking vicariously now, but now you're able to really amplify your own signal, the Team Pluto signal. Now, what can you do to try to leverage that for, say, charitable organizations?
I'm glad you asked. So I want to completely end the monotonous, uncomfortable idea of fundraising altogether, right? So if your organization partners with ours, we'll list a full catalog of your one-of-a-kind school merchandise. We'll get you your own page set up. And all we really want in return is a link on your K-12 website, okay? And then we offer top-line revenue sharing. So if something costs $100 or $100 order, most schools are going to clear $15 to $20 on that. The sale itself stays in South Dakota. So now that's supporting your county by us paying the local sales tax. We're paying the state sales tax on that. So eventually we want to move away from our third-party print partner, because we want to fulfill these customized items right here in South Dakota, right here in our own communities.
And as affordably as possible, right? You're willing to go and bite the bullet, and we're fairly young men still. We're not as young as we once were, for sure, but we have the vision to say, hey, you know what? I might not pay this off till the end of my career, right? When I'm done working, this machine might finally get paid off, or these investments that we're making might pay off then. But I think we're both living to leave a legacy. And to leave a legacy for our children. I know you have young children. I do as well. I want my kids to have something good to hang on to,
Because think about it. The more that we're keeping our economy in state, we are creating a better future for us, because all of a sudden, wages are going up. Development is happening, there's new things happening. So if we're raising thousands and thousands of dollars for these teams and these communities on stuff we're already spending money on, Walmart doesn't think that I can put out a $10 fully colored t-shirt, but we can. We absolutely can.
Right.
We can do all of these things that the big box stores are doing, but instead of giving it to, conglomerates, we're giving it to our brothers, our sisters, our neighbors.
Well, and you just think about what that would do for sales tax revenue if everyone started operating in that fashion, right? Like,
I actually did think about that.
Yeah, I mean,
so
let's see some hard numbers.
So out of all of the public schools in South Dakota, there's about 200 something districts, I believe 600 separate schools. Out of those 200 districts, if each student had a $10 t-shirt either by a sponsor or a direct purchase, that would equate to over $232,000 just in state sales tax a year. And then county tax. I might have butchered those numbers now that I think about it. I'm actually
it's 4% and 2% usually, right? The 4%, but you're right. You're working on simple, right? And it's going straight out of state. They're using custom ink or whoever they are, and not to tear any of these companies down. We've used them, but golly, just think of the possibilities if we didn't, right? I mean, South Dakota is one of the few states that already operates in the black as far as a budget goes. Being a fiscally, Republican and red state, conservative values, right? That's just the way that it's operated and that it should operate. I am not advocating for them doing anything different, but think about an infusion of cash by keeping business local and how much more good that's going to do.
Because when you buy it from us, guess what we're going to do with that money? We're going to go find another voice and make it louder. We're going to go find another organization that needs a boost.
Yeah.
And yet it's mutually beneficial. Obviously, we're a for-profit company, and I need everyone to understand that. But by being a for-profit company, that gives us so much flexibility to put the funds where they need it without a bunch of red tape.
Exactly. And I try to tell this with organizing events now, where it's like, it's actually easier if you're not in our way. We can do this. We're not trying to rob anyone. We're actually trying to raise as much money as possible, but we're in a prove it stage right now, Josh. And we talk about this a lot, off mic. Right now, it's just proving these concepts to people, right? Nobody is going to believe us until we go out and do it. And each and every time we stand and deliver. And man, that's what it's all about. We get a chance to do it almost every day on the podcast and events. You're going to be open Sunday through Thursday at the Snack Shack. Like, we're going to be living in it here soon. Opening day, I know, is tomorrow. We're going to drop this episode, man. We're going to make it all about Team Pluto. The scene are going to be taking over the airwaves all day long. We're here, and I think it's time that people, in our area, people are feeling it, man. And I think they're about to jump on board in a big way. I think you're onto a great idea. I can't wait to watch you share this idea with a whole host of people on Prime Video. Like, it's crazy, man.
I'm just thankful, man, that I didn't let the doubters stop me from achieving what I set out to do, because for somebody like me, I'm a textbook people pleaser, Bubba, so, or an empath, if you would. So if I feel like somebody's concerned really about the idea, then I might take second thought. But anymore, man, like, if you have a vision, it's going to be your closest friends and family who are going to ask the tough questions, and you better have a good answer, because it can get tensions and feelings hurt when you can't properly translate what you're seeking, and it's nothing bad. I love, for example, my family's been very successful in the catering business for the last 20 years. And for anyone who knows me that's listening, they're probably assuming I was funded from their success. And I just invite you to ask them just how much they put into it financially, because they've seen me get these ideas before, these wild, crazy ideas, and I'd never follow through. In 4 short months, Bubba, I have my own clothing line. I have my own shoe line. I have my own water line, water label. You know what I mean? I've partnered with artists. I've partnered with models, indigenous models who are changing their Native American communities. And I've done all of this literally out of the organic growth that it created. It started with the sale of the first t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? So we just keep turning it over. And so now we're actually putting ourselves out there, asking you, the listener, to come down to the ballpark, come check out Hot Dog Night. Wherever you find our water bottles, you're going to start seeing them pop up all over. You're not going to be able to avoid it. When you purchase that water bottle, trust and know that it's going to go for big things. Catch us on the Prime Video, catch us on social media and see all the great things we're doing in our communities, because I'm excited, man.
Yeah, well, and that's what it's about. And I've been trying to tell people is, like, just imagine all the good we can do. If we do this right, Josh, and we leverage all this attention, and all me and you have ever wanted is that attention, right? We just want to be seen and heard a little bit. Hey guys, pay attention. I think we got something really good here, right? And
Right.
To hit the show, the period of it is perfect, right? Because baseball season's kind of wound to a close right at that time, and you have this availability.
Hey,
so
I got a question. What are you doing the second week of August?
well, I could probably make myself available. Why?
Well, Bubba, I want to invite you to come along with me, and I think you're the perfect person to help my message, our message, be heard around the world. What do you think about that?
Brother, I would be honored.
What? You're gonna come? You're gonna check this out?
I got to ask the wife first, but the chance to elevate our brand,
sure they can come. We'll see. If not, I
right?
guess
and the opportunity to elevate the brand, that's the golden opportunity, man. You landed on it. I really appreciate you, Josh, offering that to me, and I won't let you down, buddy. We're going to win.
Let's go.
We're going to win, man. I'm not, I've always been a competitive person, and I've never been passionate enough about a sport to want to go do it. I don't believe in the battle of the bands stuff, right? To pit musicians against musicians, but to put me in a room where it's my idea against your idea, I don't know that I've lost many of those, buddy. And the only person I've ever lost to, I sleep next to every night.
Well, yeah, those are the battles I don't like to pick.
Brother,
I use my diplomacy skills when it comes to those situations.
Yeah, well, I'm really touched by you offering. Thanks, and like I said,
it's only right, man.
I'm not going to let you down, man. We're going to go out there and we're going to show them what they're all about. We're going to have a great time while we're there doing it. And I mean, even if we don't win the money, right, we already won. It's already setting us up to go and document the best summer of our lives. And then like you've said, to that footage is for sale too. We're not exclusive. Let's go set ourselves up for a life of helping other people. Like, that's all I want to do, man. That's all I want to do is help other people and pump other people up and show these people how to save their towns and to save their traditions.
Exactly.
Let's do it, man.
Well, 50 cases of these limited edition water are going to be distributed. We are going to hold some back for some sponsorships because doing the show, we don't get paid for it. We do have some travel expenses, and we have a lot of homework to do between now and when we go. So, and we just want South Dakota. We want the Midwest. We want everybody to throw their support behind us. Unless you got something better. I mean,
hey, you know what? Any support that comes to the scene, whether it be through sponsoring the show or it's sponsoring our events or it's, a direct sponsorship and helping us get down to Tulsa, Oklahoma to win this contest. All of it's accepted, man. You guys know how to get a hold of us. Team Pluto's everywhere. The scene starts and ends. Bubba starts. You guys know how to find us, man. We're out there. We're everywhere. We're really making a big noise this summer, and we're doing it to bring some shine to South Dakota because, damn it, we deserve it.
Amen. Amen, brother.
Hey, Josh.
Well, Bubba, I actually duty calls. I've got a little more work to do. I hope I didn't cut your episode short, and I appreciate you having me on. And I'm so glad you accepted my offer to come with me to win this competition, man.
It's a beautiful thing, man. I really appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward to a long, long time winning together with you.
Let's go. All right, man. This is Pluto signing out.
Thank you for listening. Remember to go to patreon.com/thescenesd. Follow us on all your social media channels and make yourself part of The Scene.